So I managed to fully style, decorate and furnish a 2.5 bedroom apartment for $12,500. Let me share with you exactly what I did and why and how I pulled all this together so I can help you save money. Hi everyone, if you're new to my channel, my name is Canna Campbell. I'm the founder of SugarMamma TV. I'm a working mother of 3, a financial planner, and I also have 3 Labradors. So my life is pretty chaotic as I juggle a few different hats. Alright, so today I want to share with you exactly how I managed to style, decorate and fully furnish our apartment in Bondi. Let me just go back a little bit to explain everything and sort of put things into context. We have an apartment and we had major strata issues. They had to raise a special strata levy, and this strata levy was a significant 6-figure bill. And we had to come up with the money ourselves, so we were on a really tight budget. And because of the problems with the building, we weren't actually able to sell the property. And at the same time, we couldn't actually rent it out because we had major works being done and literally the whole apartment had to be completely gutted. So we were really stuck under huge amounts of pressure and stress. We had a 6 to 9 month window where we were kind of in a bit of limbo land. The apartment was, being fixed and going to be ready to be rented out, but we couldn't actually rent it out properly because there were still issues with the building going on, which meant we had to look at the short-term rental market, such as Airbnb. However, the problem was this apartment was completely empty, like nothing. Like, yes, it had carpet, but that was pretty much it. There was nothing else. And I had to quickly furnish this apartment on such a tight budget. So let me share with you exactly what I did, where I went, and how I managed to pull it all off, because I'm actually really proud of myself and I think I did a really good job. I'll make sure I give you a full apartment tour at the end of this video, so make sure you watch all the way to the end. All right, so the first place I want to talk to is where did I go to buy all these things with such a tight budget? Well, there were 3 main places. The first one was the Salvation Army. I really wanted to prioritize this because it felt good, obviously buying pre-loved and reducing landfill, but also it's a great place to source really interesting, unique items. And it was really helpful for me because I was able to get beautiful, glassware, servingware, unusual, unique pieces. However, I will admit, and I'm really ashamed to admit, but I feel it's really important that I be honest with you, I found the prices at Salvation Army close to full retail prices. So I had to be really careful in obviously sticking to my budget and maintaining a sense of balance. But I did really feel good that I was supporting a really important organization that's helping break poverty. The second place where I sourced great items, and I'll share with you how I actually sourced these because there's some clever hacks here, but was actually Gumtree. I love that you can pay for things through Gumtree. There was an element of security there, and I could see where items were. So there was definitely some great pieces that I found on Gumtree. However, the number one best place where I found brilliant items, which were exactly what I was looking for and easy to locate and communicate with, was actually Facebook Marketplace. Now, I had to be careful because obviously there are, scammers out there that do try and trick you and rip you off, and I came very close, but this was actually a really good source for me, and I found a particular group called the Bondi Loop, and there were so many amazing things that I could pick up where people had barely used them. They're in great condition, and being in my local area, it wasn't too hard to go and pick these up or to get them delivered to me without it being outrageously expensive. So they were my 3 best places to locate these items. The second hack I want to share with you is when I bought these pre-loved items, I really prioritized sticking to brands that I really knew. Now, there were 2 key reasons for doing this. Number 1 is I was familiar with the quality. I knew about the workmanship, I was familiar with the fabrics, the tones, the quality. It was something really important to me, and I'm really glad I did this. The second reason I did this was because of the resale value. I knew particular brands could be on-sold should I need to. So if I bought something that wasn't quite right, I knew I could easily move it on without losing too much money. So that was really important to me. And the brands that I really stuck to were Coco Republic, MCM House, King Furniture, and when I could find this particular brand, Jardin. Now, these brands are really expensive. You go and buy them from the store and pay full retail price. But I found that on Facebook Marketplace, in this group, Bondi Loop, there were lots of pieces of furniture from these brands. So it also made the prices really competitive, and I probably paid 20% of the full retail price. The third thing that I did was I stuck to a neutral color palette. Because I am not an interior designer, I had to be really careful not to waste money, but to try and get this right. So to play it as safe as possible, I stuck to like beiges and greys and navy blues and occasionally whites. I had to be careful with whites being Airbnb and obviously just like natural dirt and wear and tear that went on. But it meant that so many of my pieces really worked beautifully, and it actually ended up leaving the room and the apartments looking really harmonious and calm, which was perfect for that sort of beachy vibe that comes with Bondi. The fourth thing I did was, and I had learned this the hard way, was being really careful with delivery and location. Initially, I got a little bit ahead of myself and overexcited, and I would see particular items that were really unique and special, and I would drive across Sydney on the weekend, like picking up, picture frames and little ornaments and lampshades, and I ended up becoming really resentful because I was driving in the heat, beautiful sunny days where I'd rather be down at the beach, and sometimes I ended up spending more on petrol and tolls just to go and pick up those items than what I was actually paying for those items. So I had to start being a lot more savvier as to whether it was worth my time, driving across Sydney to find particular things. However, eventually when the penny dropped and it clicked, I managed to find an amazing person that had a truck and basically does this for a living. He literally spends the whole day picking up pieces from Facebook Marketplace and delivering them from home to home. Anyway, I had a good chat to him, explained to him what I was doing, and he was happy to give me like a discounted rate where he could, if he was picking up a certain item from a certain area, he'd pick that up for me and I'd pay him, of course, for that particular thing. But this really helped reduce the delivery cost, and it also meant I saved so much time as well. However, if you're doing this, what I would recommend is be really careful as to where your items are actually located, and of course the cost to be able to get your items to you, particularly when they're really heavy. The fifth thing I want to share with you, and this is more, I guess, about how to behave and act, and that is when you see something brilliant or great or amazing value or something you just really love, looks really special, particularly the pre-loved economies, you've got to jump on it quick. You've got to message them straight away. And I would highly recommend offering to try and pick up that item as quickly as possible. A classic example was I got this amazing outdoor king lounge set. It included this huge, like heavy sofa. It included this beautiful coffee table and matching chair. This probably would have retailed, I imagine, for probably maybe $15,000, and I think I paid like $1,000 for it. But I messaged the people straight away, and I was like, I will be there. Just let me know when and where, how much. I'll have the cash ready. And I, followed up to confirm I was coming. I was really strong with my communication. Anyway, I got there, and the furniture was even better than I realized. It was such an amazing deal, and I was chatting to the owner, and he actually shared with me that he was inundated with people messaging, and he had to actually had a wait list of 19 people, so that if I didn't turn up, I would have been bumped off the list and the next person went. So you've really got to make sure that you put actions behind your words, and be prepared to drop everything to go and pick something up, particularly if it's an amazing price or something that you just absolutely love and must have, that's perfect, that brings your home together. The sixth thing I want to share with you is actually about payment. When I turned up to pay for particular items, I paid in cash. I was really careful about scammers, prepaying for things or doing bank transfers, because I was worried they may say, well, you didn't actually pay me when I really had. So when I would buy things, I would physically give them the cash. Oh, hi, Peppy. And this was something that I think people really liked. So they liked the feeling of seeing the cash in their hand. It was like an immediate, dopamine hit for offloading or decluttering their home, which I kind of really liked that as part of. Also, on that note of payment, when I saw something that was actually really well priced, I didn't go and haggle for an even cheaper price. However, this is something that's very personal, and obviously you need to do your research as to what's really good value for money and what's well priced. But it got to the stage where I was like, that's actually really reasonable. I think I'm happy to pay that, and I just would. Got to the stage where I was like, I'm not interested in saving money. If it's in great condition, it's really good value, it's perfect for exactly what I need, well then, so be it. That's my second Labrador. I'm just waiting for the third one now to walk in any second now. And then the seventh thing I want to share, and this is really important, I feel like people don't really talk about this enough because they make it look like it was so easy to just pull this amazing collection of beautiful furniture together. And that was, I literally made this my full-time job. I had a very small window to get not only select the furniture, but also get it delivered and installed, and everything sort of brought together in the apartment. So I had to act really quick. So I literally just parked all my other work to the side and just focused on just searching all day, high and low, for the key pieces that I was looking for. And I had a list as to what I needed, like a sofa, 2 armchairs, 2 beds, bedside table. Like I had a really strict list to follow. So the moment I ticked something off, I'd immediately go onto the next thing on my list. And obviously like keeping an open mind as I was, seeing so many different things online. But, I will admit it was time consuming. I was constantly looking, but then I was also constantly having to message people and then quickly reply back. And then of course, organize to get in the car and go pick that item up. And then of course, organize for other people to help me go and pick those items up, and then obviously get them delivered to the apartment and then get them put inside the apartment and then hung up or built and so forth. So this really did dominate my life for like probably about a month. So it definitely wasn't easy. And of course it was very distracting with trying to juggle the kids and my own full-time work. And my final tip, even though I said I'd only share 7 tips, I'm going to add an additional one for good luck because I'm kind of superstitious. And that is, I actually sourced a lot of items from my own home. As I was, doing this apartment styling and looking for the pieces and trying to work out what we needed, I realized I actually had quite a few duplicates at home, which worked really well because it meant that my home was actually being decluttered at the same time. And I was, of course, saving even more money because I wasn't having to go and buy it even at a pre-lowered price. And this was really liberating as well. And it was really nice to see my furniture, or my old pieces of furniture that I didn't use or need anymore, in the apartment, because it felt like there was a touch of me and Tom and our story about meeting each other and getting together in this apartment of ours. All right, enough talking from me. I'm going to share with you an apartment tour. You can let me know what you think, how I did this, especially considering I am not an interior designer. I could never be an interior designer. I don't have the patience. But if you have any additional tips for other people who are watching this and they're trying to bring their home together on a budget, decorating, and they want to do it in a responsible way, both financially and of course for the planet, put all your ideas, your tricks, your ideas, your hacks in the comments below so that we can all share. And of course, in the meantime, enjoy seeing my work for $12,500, which included absolutely everything.